Right now on News 3, new video and breaking news related to this summer's deadly explosion in Sun Prairie.
What to expect for the future of the Alliant Energy Center, the master plans being made public today.
And it may just be a Christmas miracle, how a ring found its way back to its owner decades after it went missing.
This is News 3 at 6.
We are following some breaking news tonight concerning this summer's deadly gas explosion in Sun Prairie. The wife of the Sun Prairie fire captain killed is filing a wrongful death lawsuit. Abby Barr filed the lawsuit on behalf of her husband, Corey's estate. The lawsuit is being filed against VC Tech, Bear Communications, USIC Locating Services, and We Energies, all the companies that had a role in this explosion. 2 firefighters also hurt during the explosion are also filing lawsuits against those companies. Corey Barr left behind his wife, Abby, and twin daughters. Information about this lawsuit comes after authorities announced they will not pursue criminal charges in the explosion.
Police also released new video of the scene today. Our Keely Arthur is live in Sun Prairie with the latest. Keely?
Well, it's been 4 months since that explosion leveled the building that was behind me and burned down other parts of the downtown. Today, the police chief saying there's going to be no criminal charges, but as we just heard, Abby Barr and those firefighters are pursuing civil suits, and some businesses say they might do the same. This is dash cam video released today showing the moment of the July 10th explosion that killed Captain Corey Barr.
As I was exiting the building, it happened and the walls bellowed in and out, so it was kind of scary.
Shannon Jambard was inside her store meant to bead just a block away.
We have kits for all of our Christmas ornaments.
4 months later, she's moved into a new temporary location, but the experience still has a daily impact.
I often say that this place for me is like my 2-year-old. I can't leave it unattended, and it's part of my heart. So not having it for 4 months was like losing my baby.
Jambard was at Sun Prairie City Hall as authorities gave an update today, announcing the gas leak and subsequent explosion was the result of severe miscommunication rather than criminal behavior between companies USIC, Bear Communications, Jet Underground, and VC Tech. USIC failed to mark a critical spot where fiber optic cables were being installed. An employee with VC Tech, the subcontractor of Verizon and Bear Communications, tasked with handling the underground construction, hit a gas line leading to the downtown explosion less than an hour later.
Prior to the explosion, conversations occurred between representatives of each of these companies, both on and off site, during which incomplete and inaccurate information was exchanged and relied upon.
We caught up with Sun Prairie's mayor after the news conference.
Do you feel satisfied with what they announced?
I do.
Why is that?
Because they had all the facts and they're making the facts available.
Mayor Paul Esser also saying he hasn't heard talk of a civil suit from the city. However, it's something Jambard and other business owners said off camera they are contemplating.
I would just like whoever's responsible to take care of things. I don't like going after people. I don't like holding anger, and I think that would do that, but I don't know what the future holds.
Now, Corey Barr's wife, Abby Barr, filing that civil suit. However, she told me today she doesn't want to comment publicly. She's also said that she is avoiding all social media and any forms of media so as to not see those disturbing images and have to relive this all over again. As for the companies involved in causing the explosion, they have yet to comment publicly. Back to you.
Keely Arthur reporting live from Sun Prairie. Thank you, Keely.
Let's get a check on your first alert forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Caulfield. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Charlotte. The umbrella's still up on the weather patio. A couple light raindrops, even a few snowflakes are possible over the next hour or so across southern Wisconsin in some spots. In Madison, we're looking at cloudy skies and some light rain being reported now at the airport. Northwest wind at 10 miles per hour, making the 36 degrees feel chillier. And with the rain coming down, it feels a little bit damp, a little bit raw outside. That wind chill at 28 degrees right now. Doppler track showing really Dane County is the only spot getting a few drops from the sky, but over the next hour or so, don't be surprised if we do need to put up the umbrella just for a little bit. Visibility still at 6 miles in Madison. Across southwestern Wisconsin, that visibility is looking better. We did have some fog with us today. Temperatures are in the mid-30s across southern Wisconsin, but with wind speeds out of the north at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, it might feel more like the 20s in some spots tonight. And as temperatures dip into the 20s to start off our Friday, it will be noticeably cooler as we start Friday and into the day on Friday. We'll talk about what to expect for the start of winter tomorrow in your First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. Sentencing is set for April for a woman accused of helping hide a corpse. 52-year-old Michelle Goss pleaded guilty today. Police say she was at a nearby property when her fiancé shot and killed a Sun Prairie man in January. Court documents say Goss helped her fiancé wrap the man's body in plastic and hide it in a storage unit in Rio.
The man who shot and killed a woman on the interstate will be committed on 15 additional charges. Zachary Hayes was sentenced in June for randomly shooting a woman in Sauk County as she and her family drove back home to Illinois after time in the Dells. The court decided Hayes was not guilty by reason of insanity after 4 doctors agreed he was mentally unstable in the months leading up to the shooting. Yesterday, he was in court for 6 other charges in Columbia County. He was sentenced to 15 additional years to be served consecutively to his prior sentence.
Republican legislative leaders are laying out some of their priorities for next year. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says he's open to accepting federal Medicaid expansion money or cutting income taxes, 2 of Governor-elect Tony Evers' campaign priorities. Democratic lawmakers hope that Evers will help give his party more of a voice at the Capitol, but say the lame duck session was not a good way to start. Republican leaders say they will likely create their own state budget instead of using the one Evers proposes next year.
I don't want to fully just assume that before the governor-elect introduces his budget that we'll just completely dismiss it, but I'm still assuming we'll work off of a base budget.
The hope is that we are able to work together, but if the legislative leadership is more interested in playing politics than they are in governing, I don't expect much to get done.
Senator Fitzgerald made it clear he does not support legalizing marijuana for medical use. Evers previously told News 3 he supports medical marijuana, but would want public input on legislation for recreational use.
Wisconsin's unemployment rate is at or below 3% for the 10th month in a row. The state gained close to 10,000 jobs between October and November. Dane County supervisors are talking about what the Alliant Energy Center could look like in the future. That board is deciding whether to allocate $90 million in taxpayer money for renovations. The rest of the $300 million would come from private investors. The final plans include a new exhibition hall and a hotel. Apartments and extra green space would be added as well. The changes would support an estimated 1,400 full-time jobs and generate more than $3 billion in spending. Madison Mayor Paul Soglin released a statement this week noting how close the campus is to Lake Monona and urging the county to consider sustainability within the design.
More than 20 area nonprofits will receive money from the Madison Community Foundation. The organization donated more than $800,000. The grants help address needs in 5 areas: learning, community development, arts and culture, environment, and organization capacity building. Out of the 22 grants awarded today, the largest includes $100,000 to Goodman Community Center's Building and Expansion Project. Walmart donated more than $24 million to Wisconsin charities this year. The company also donated more than 13 million pounds of food to local food banks.
As we approach the start of 2019, a lot of us are probably going to make a commitment to refocus on our health. And sometimes prioritizing that means trusting your gut and asking more questions. That is the message that Ellie Feldman wants to share. The 27-year-old Madison realtor has been on a medical odyssey for the past 2 years, trying to find the cause of her fatigue and jaw pain. Over and over again, Ellie's blood work showed nothing was wrong, but she refused to give up.
When it happened, I never felt like, why did this happen to me? I felt really lucky that I found it, and I found it when I did. So the narrative in my head this whole time has been, I'm so lucky.
Having this diagnosis come about in younger people who are expected to be healthy, often leads to a lot of confusion.
Tonight at 10, Ellie will share the diagnosis she never saw coming and the important message that she wants to share with others.
Still ahead, today is a crucial day for Christmas shipping.
But first, it's a device that focuses on finding things that are lost. But it may be a Christmas miracle that it helped to dig up a very special ring decades after being lost.
It's a story fit for the season of giving. A missing ring is now back where it belongs decades after it was misplaced.
But the ring is more than a class memento. For one man, it's a sign of all life has to offer. Adam Duxter shares how it's impacting him.
Metal detector enthusiasts often deal in the world of lost and found, but in this case, a lost ring turned into a found friendship.
It's a good hobby. You do a lot of walking, you get a lot of exercise. I've dug underground for 49 years. This is just a new phase.
Mike Morris has been searching, digging, and discovering through Janesville's parks for the last 4 years.
You never know for sure what it is you're uncovering.
Collecting plenty of treasure along the way.
These are the large pennies from the 1850s I found on my own land.
Most of what Mike gets, he keeps. But when he found a class ring nearly a quarter-century old, he tried to find the owner, but couldn't.
Nobody's in the phone book anymore. They all got cell phones, so it's hard to track somebody down.
The name inside the ring, Jeremy Alexander, a person Mike thought he would never meet until he did.
That is an English ring, and it's got lead content in it.
After 26 years, Jeremy and his ring reunited.
I couldn't believe it. I've been past this park 100 times since then, and it's passed my mind. I thought, well, somebody found it.
But even Mike had no idea how much this gift would mean.
But if I continued on the path I was going, I'd probably be on my way to prison right now.
A year ago when Mike found the ring, Jeremy was struggling with an alcohol addiction. Today, he's sober. The ring, now a reminder.
Every time you feel like you're slipping, grab that ring and hold on to it and remember this moment, that maybe a little miracle did happen.
That couldn't have come at a better time.
I believe in Christmas miracles. This is part of one. And if anybody can't see that, then, well, that's their problem.
Both Mike and Jeremy say they want to use this moment to become lifelong friends.
Still to come on News 3 at 6, there will be a new starting quarterback for the Badgers come the Pinstripe Bowl.
And it's a new Brewers celebrating all that is sweet and tangy in Wisconsin. We caught up with the brewmaster behind Capital Brewery's Cranberry Wheat Ale. We'll hear his thoughts next at 6. And rain showers are possible before the night is over. Gary has the forecast when News 3 at 6 continues.
Yep.
Today is the last day to send packages through first class and priority mail. There are other options if you can't make it tonight. This, of course, is if you want to make sure your packages are there by Christmas. You can send things through Priority Mail Express, but things sent this way have to be in the mail by Saturday, and it will also cost you a little bit more.
A local brewery is tapping into Wisconsin's cranberry industry. Capital Brewery just released its cranberry wheat ale this afternoon. It is made from cranberries grown in Wisconsin. The brewery held a crash bash featuring all sorts of cranberry items to welcome the new beer.
It's a really nice, easy drinker. It's about 4% alcohol, just real light, easy wheat base, and then some Wisconsin cranberries and just a little bit of citrus to make it pop a little bit. So it's a real easy drinker.
Capital Brewery is also the home of the Keg Mystery, which features more than 200 kegs in the beer garden.
Let's head out to the weather patio now. Dave Caulfield, you still have the umbrella up?
Yep, a couple minutes ago, just put it away, but we still do have some light rain falling across portions of Dane County. That's the first time in about a week that we've seen any precipitation across southern Wisconsin. We were under the influence of high pressure for a lot of that time period, and as a result of that high pressure and some warmer air in town, highs got into the 40s in Madison for the 7th straight day today, and over the past 7 days, that's the first time time that we've gotten 7 straight 40-degree days since the end of October and the beginning of November. So it's been about a month and a half to 2 months since we've seen this long of a mild stretch of weather. High temperatures, as I mentioned, a lot of 40s still, even with the clouds and the fog and kind of the gloom of this Thursday. 43 in Boscobel and in Mineral Point. The high temperature 42 in Madison and Monroe and 40 in the Dells. Right now, those temps are a little bit chillier with cold front coming through. We are at 36 in Madison, 37 in Janesville, and 35 in the Dells. So a lot of that precipitation starting to come to an end. Maybe over the next 30 minutes to an hour, these showers will still be out there. It is showing up as snow, but temperatures are still a little bit too warm at the surface to get anything significant. So we're really not looking at anything that we need to worry about precipitation-wise in southern Wisconsin. That is not the case if you're trying to get a jump on any Christmas travel, early Christmas travel, that is, myself included. The East Coast not looking great with some flood watches for a lot of the eastern seaboard and low ceilings right now. So tomorrow could be another messy day at the airports closer to the Northeast. I'm saying that now, so when I get on my flight tomorrow and I'm saying, what's the deal? I predicted this, so I guess I have that going for me. Downtown Madison, the Edgewater Skycam, a little bit calmer with a couple of raindrops still falling in spots. Today's high of 42, about still 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we should be for this time of year, and this time of year brings the start of winter tomorrow. Remember, for the solstice, that's the day with the least daylight, which is about 9 hours, so hopefully we get that clearing a little bit earlier rather than later. Otherwise, not too much sunshine to start winter off. After tomorrow, though, there is a slight increase in daylight day by day until we get through the winter months. High temperature trend, we're still staying a little bit above normal, but I think the days of 40-degree temperatures are not coming back for a while. We'll be close toward the middle of next week, right after Christmas, but that brings the threat of some rain and snow showers. Tonight, that rain and snow comes to an end in the evening. Breezy and cooler with temperatures in the 20s. We'll be in the 30s tomorrow, still on the breezy side, but really not too much happening on future track as we head into tonight and tomorrow. Again, a little bit of clearing possible toward the end of Friday, but we'll get the clouds right back in time for Saturday morning, and a few snow showers are possible and some flurries to start Saturday. Then seasonably cool and calm leading up to Christmas Day.
The Badger football team will have a new starting quarterback when it plays in the Pinstripe Bowl a week from today. Paul Chris tells us all about it in sports. The Badger football team will play Miami in the Pinstripe Bowl a week from today, and Jack Cohn will be the Badgers' starting quarterback as Alex Hornibrook continues to deal with concussion symptoms. What's significant about that is it'll be Cohn's 5th game of the year, meaning he won't be able to redshirt and save a year of eligibility. In any case, Cohn will get his 4th start of the season against the Hurricanes next Thursday. Here's to the head coach on Hornibrook's health and Cohn's promotion.
You know, Alex did really participate in a couple weeks of the bowl practices, and then kind of had some reoccurring occurrences, and you know, going with Jack, and one of the things that we talked about with Jack beginning of the season was that, you know, as he goes, and we wouldn't play him in kind of times when the game was decided, and you know, every time that he's played, the game's been in the balance, and this is one more great opportunity for him, and to be able to start.
And what about Hornibrook, who a year ago was named most valuable player of the Orange Bowl in that win over Miami? Concussions are a scary thing, and when asked about Hornibrook's big picture football future, Chris or anyone doesn't really have any great answers right now.
You know, you don't know, right? And you trust the evaluations, and yeah, that's why I appreciate, you know, our group and what they've done. And you know, he went out and saw a specialist in Michigan, and so I think you try to do all that you can. I don't know all the ramifications of everything right now. You take it day to day and week to week on it.
Badger men's basketball plays Grambling Saturday at the Kohl Center. Khalil Iverson practiced today. They hope he can return from his leg injury and play Saturday. Greg Gard knows his team is nearly through finals week. At the end of practice, he reminded the players to make sure they get all their papers in and exams successfully completed. Gard said his team is starting to get back to normal after being a bit distracted lately.
I could tell they're not as cloudy, not as giddy, not as squirrely maybe as what they were earlier in the week. But you could tell the difference. I could tell even in the last week before we played Savannah State that it was starting to set in. We call it the finals fog. Yeah, the fog was coming in.
Sometimes there's conflict between coaches and the media, but at the LSU school, the head football coach is very helpful to the media. Ed Orgeron was having a news conference to talk about his new recruits. He was very concerned about helping the media.
John Embry, another great young man from Destrehan, Louisiana. Hold on a second. Hey, guys! Hey! I'm having a press conference, okay? Thank you. Excellent young man. We have to fix the line of scrimmage. We wanted to get bigger. I'll stop. Hey! Stop the balls, stop the drill. I'm having a press conference. Thank you.
Then he goes back and just starts talking again.
Wow.
I would not want to be yelled at by him. He's
like
scary.
Yeah, he got a nice voice, doesn't he?
All right, Dave's here with a final check of your forecast.
Yeah, we have some clouds tomorrow and cooler with highs in the mid-30s.
All right, and that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 10.